of yourself. Don't be another brick in the wall. Know that you are unknown, 'cause you know you hold a knowing within. Knowledge is a nature, that is your true nature. We are related, no need for mind control. Awaken the seed, my friend. Welcome back, everybody. Ranger Greg here for you. This channel has been active for about a year, so I'm really happy, really glad that some of the supportive comments and subscriptions just renew the energy of creativity. So thank you so much for being so encouraging and supportive. And today we are actually going to talk about a fundamental issue of a society, and which relates to a sense of responsibility. So responsibility doesn't mean anything else but our ability to respond. And in this video, we're gonna talk about our ability to respond according to our actions. So taking accountability for what we do and how we do it. So as you know, we are almost 8 billion folks on this planet. Okay, folks like this or folks that look differently. It actually doesn't matter how you look, where you're from, what you do, what your priorities are, what your hobbies are. You have an impact around you. So a sense of responsibility is just looking at what impact we actually have through our lifestyle. This world has an ever-shifting dynamic in ourselves, in our environment, in human communities, or in natural ecosystems. However, change is resisted because, let's face it, we love our coziness, we love our habits, we love what we know to be true. With humility, however, we can recognize that our actions do not necessarily lead to the best of outcomes for our fellow humans and fellow non-humans down the road or down the stream. Questioning what is right, questioning the answer, becomes a key point in this reflection. As previously covered in a video right there, our brain works in a fantastic way. It creates classes, discriminates our environment so we can navigate our surroundings efficiently. We create classes such as pretty, not pretty, dangerous, not dangerous, good for me, not good for me. And we become so entrenched with what is right to us that we start building a sense of identity around what we do, what we don't do, our hobbies, our foods, our relations, etc., etc. So here's a reality check. You believe in what you hold to be true according to your own experience. It doesn't mean that what you believe is the absolute truth. That being said, our brains are fantastic and can change, undo established neural pathways, undo some mental patterns that we've accumulated over time and strengthened over time, and create identity around it. And this is called neuroplasticity, our ability of our brains to change, recover over time, which is an essential process in resiliency, demonstrate ability to cope with hardships and recover psychologically, physiologically, emotionally, and physically. So our brains are not isolated from our bodies. They impact our whole system. What is happening in here reflects this. What is happening in your body reflects what is in here too. However, the older the habit and opinion, the harder it is for your mind to let go of that sense of identity it has created around these certainties. So, proposing change or alternative views, you might hear things like,
"We've done this for many generations. It always worked. There's no reason to change."
or
"We do things our own way around here. Get the heck out of my life, man."
or even,
"You shall not tell me what is right or wrong." Huh.
And that's all good because we can't force change. Change happens at its own rhythm when folks are ready. So there is, however, a comparison I wish to make between habits and addictions. And a habit is a form of addiction because we refer to that, we go to that action or to that thought and opinion because it feels safe, because we know that that is true. There's a 5-step process in creating new habits. Number 1, it takes humility to recognize an action slash addiction. Number 2, commitment is necessary to slowly introduce a new, ideally healthier habit. 3, you gotta reassure your mind that it doesn't need to freak out. Okay, if something new and unplanned is coming your way, have compassion for yourself. Have patience. Number 4, create a daily habit that is gonna slowly take over the old. And lastly, number 5, once implemented every day, the new habit becomes second nature. The neural pathway in our brain is established. The mind has accepted the new as the normal, your new sense of truth. The reality of things is that this universe is in constant motion. The only thing you can do is recognize the things that distract you from a space of calmness. You can also observe this in a cloud. A cloud is calm, yet it is always moving with an ever-changing shape. In network science, it has been established that each node, so each dot of the network, is 6 nodes away from being connected to every other node in the system. What does that even mean? That means that every living being on this planet is 6 living beings away from being connected to every other living being. And in human terms, it means that each person on this planet, just like you and me, is 6 people away from knowing everyone. And that's 8 billion people, just so you know. So, if we kind of expand that idea and include our living ecosystems, we soon realize that there's no such a thing as one individual doing their own thing, being separated from the whole. No, what affects one affects all. And like Thich Nhat Hanh proposes, the concept of interbeing and interconnectedness makes much sense. Just like a spider web. If you pull on one end, it's not gonna only affect that one little corner. That whole web is gonna move. Try it out. Be gentle though. With our daily habits, we can actually make a change in our immediate surroundings and be of support to the health of our environment at large. So, it's quite overwhelming to think about, oh my God, I need to solve a global situation on my own. No. If every individual is taking individual responsibility and accountability for their actions, it's going to be fine. Okay? What we can do is master ourselves, master our minds, master our habits, and become the best version of ourselves. So, to kind of get an idea of what is actually possible, we have a lovely guest coming in and is going to lead us through our homestead. Here is a comprehensive list of what we can actually do individually, also as a household. So, number 1, repurpose. Just look around. What is kind of floating around in your yard and in old cellars and in storage units, and repurpose it. Yeah? Just be creative. Use that creative mind that is given to us to find a solution and give object a second life. So, use what is around you without unnecessarily buying new things. But that being said, don't let it pile up high.
Pellets are something very nice. Look, you can use it for walls and more walls, and that makes the chickens happy, and the cat doesn't mind. Do you mind, cat? Hey cat, do you mind? Oh, she doesn't mind. It's all good.
And if you look at this,
and it looks like a nice deck. And when you look at the foundation, look at this. Pallets. Great. And you can make the pallets look great, eh? Look. Nice design, and it's solid. Used as a deck, and I'm happy, eh? You can also use the pallets to build a compost box. Practical, eh? And you guessed it, look. See that? And that piece here, guess what, that's a pallet, eh? And you can build some more walls with pallets and you can make it all nice and woody. You can hide it. There's another one.
Other items we can save and repurpose are to-go containers and Tupperwares. Not only that, but as you know, going into the grocery store, we buy a lot of things that are in plastic bags. So keep it! They're useful. A good way to avoid keeping all these containers in plastic bags is not buying them in the first place. So one of the students had a genius idea about creating a list of items wrapped in plastic and actually stop buying them. And he proceeded to put the list in the pantry to remind everybody else in the household to avoid consuming and buying these items. Amazing. Another way you could limit the amount of waste your household produces is by starting a compost. So a lot of things can go wrong by starting a compost, and that's exactly why people are intimidated by it. So I suggest you look at a more in-depth tutorial to get the more crusty details on how to proceed for this project. That being said, here comes a lovely introduction to this very valuable homestead project. Composting has been done for millennia, since pretty much the discovery of agriculture around the Neolithic area. So many generations ago. Because it is simple, yeah? So what we're trying to do is cultivate, to break down the waste products to cultivate healthy soil. Vibrant with nutrients, such as nitrogen, phosphorus, etc. Because, let's face it, not every soil is rich in nutrients. So since we're trying to cultivate a garden and having the plants grow tall and abundant with fruit, we're trying to harvest the healthiest soil possible, and ideally in a sustainable way.
Okay, so we use the compost box that I introduced earlier in the video. So as you can see, I put some weights on the lid, and so it doesn't fly away. So it's important to cover the compost, because you want to keep it moist and you want to keep it warm and you want to keep it dark. Okay, that's how things break down. So look, there's a switch lid. And see a bunch of stuff. You're like, hey, that's not compost. What is that? I see cardboard box, I see paper, I see a bunch of things here. Well, guess what? They all break down. It's organic material. So what you got to do, you take a shovel. You just move a few things. And you move the top layer. You can see it always looks nice. You can see there's a lot of life. Look, I want to show you a little bit. Look, you have a lot of things crawling and stuff. That means that it's a healthy compost. Because what we're doing, we just reproduce a nice soil ecosystem.
By composting, we're just trying to recreate the carbon cycle. So, as you know, it's a circulation of carbon molecules throughout the living structure of this planet, from living organisms, consuming living organisms, and defecating, releasing some more carbon in form of manure. So we do that in an enclosed environment, so we just actually accelerate the process of decomposition by trying to cultivate as many microorganisms as we can that break down fecal matter and other organic waste products to create healthy soil. It's magic and it works. In permaculture, we speak of two different types of waste when it comes to composting: brown waste and green waste. Brown waste relates to any item such as straw, hay, dried leaves, sawdust, corn stalks, paper such as newspaper, writing paper, paper plates and napkins, coffee filters, and even cardboard boxes and lint from your vacuum and dryer. Green waste, however, relates to more lively items, such as kitchen scraps, freshly cut vegetation and lawn clippings, coffee grinds, and natural cat litter. That being said, the latter needs to be included to compost with caution. Alright, here's an important note. By doing compost, you want to keep a certain ratio, and that ratio is 30 to 1. So 30 times more brown waste than green waste. That basically helps your ecosystem to be built up because you're feeding it carbon material. You will also find in the video description below a link to an image that is going to tell you what to include and what to avoid, so you could have a healthy start for a healthy compost. Good luck.
Well done, folks.
Alright folks, that's it for now. I give you plenty of ideas for homestead improvement projects, and we'll cover further aspects of sustainability and homestead improvements in future videos. Get to work, good luck, see you all till next time.